There's a lot of stories to tell about this trip so far, and I'm right now taping on my phone because, just to give you a little teaser, which I'll explain later, my camera bag with all my gear is in Dublin. How the heck did that happen? More to come. We have just a couple more hours, 2 or 3 hours left before I get home to my house in France for the summer. I didn't really film that much today up until this time because the entire day from the moment I left Paris until I got just a little north of here, it's been raining cats and dogs. And I thought I'd take the time here to tell you the story of our trip here, which was exciting, adventurous, and one of the worst voyages we've ever had. I came with my friend, my traveling friend, Gloria, and we decided to take, pretty much at the last minute, take a plane out of JFK to Paris. But JFK was a mad scene. It was so chaotic. And as we got bumped off the first flight to Paris because there just was not any room. So my son called me up and said that there was room on the flight from JFK to Dublin, and from Dublin we could take a cheap airplane like EasyJet or something like that to Paris. I had to be in Paris 2 days or 3 days after because I had shipped my car, as you might have seen in an earlier chapter. I'm going to say goodbye to my baby for a while. I hope not too long. They say that there's a lot of delays and stuff because of shipping problems, etc., but I think it'll be okay. The important thing is to get it there and to be able to pick it up without too much of a problem. So we have this plane to Dublin, and everything was well. The plane was packed, but we got seats. And I had the dog, he's with me. And when we arrived in Dublin, we got off. We tried to catch another flight. The environment at Dublin Airport was about 10 times worse than it had been the night before in JFK. Nobody's fault. Only natural, because everybody is short-staffed. Everybody everywhere is short-staffed, it seems. No more obvious is it than in the airline industry. All these green, let's say green ticket agents who need training, but who have to be put on the job right away because there's such a lack of personnel, don't know how to treat a dog, a passenger of a dog, where to put them, how much they should weigh, what kind of package they should be in, if they can go to such and such a country or no. But we found out that we were stuck in Ireland with the dog, and we couldn't get him on a plane that day because it was just too chaotic, too hectic, and there were no seats on any planes, and nobody knew what was going on, and every line was like as non-moving as a mountain. Nobody moved. The lines were disastrously long. The managers were swamped, so nobody could, get a hold of a manager to explain what was going on. So my husband told me, my wonderful husband told me that he had a colleague who was working on a job in Dublin, and if it had not been for him, we would still be sitting on a bench in Dublin Airport trying to figure out how to get out of there and into France, because we were thinking about taking a ferry, but the ferries take like 12 hours to get from the Irish Sea, across the Irish Sea to the mainland, and we just didn't have that kind of time, and we had no way of getting to the dock, and we didn't know where to go, and all the seats were sold out. We'd have to stay in Ireland for a week. were on the plane and ready to take off. When we got to Paris, we had no luggage. Our luggage was lost somewhere between New York, Dublin, and Charles de Gaulle Airport. So we just left because it was so late. We were so tired. We went to sleep at the hotel. The next morning, we got up and we took a train to Charles de Gaulle Airport and had to file for lost or damaged luggage. So we did that. Of course, our baggage wasn't there. And they said that they would email us or call us on the phone or text us. I can't remember. One of those three options. And tell us when the luggage got there, and it's usually within 48 hours. So we did some sightseeing, and we had a really good time, a really good day. The evening was beautiful. We took some nice pictures. And then the next morning we got up, and I realized that Tino, my husband's colleague, had to leave Dublin to go someplace else to do some work there. And so I had to go back to Dublin and pick up the dog and try and get him on a flight. So the first thing I did was I got up early in the morning. I went to Dublin. I got on a plane. I went to Dublin. Tino's colleague met me at the airport because he was flying somewhere else with his wife. And thanks to them, who they knew the ropes a little because he travels a lot in his job, we were able to get Fouets on the flight. So we got back to Paris. We had Fouets in France. Okay, we finally arrived in the neighborhood of our hotel, and we are going to go there. We just got here on the metro. This is our modest hotel room. Very nice. Turns out we are right next to Montparnasse, the only true skyscraper in Paris. And it's a nice neighborhood too. Lots of cafes, restaurants, little stores. So that should be fun. And I'd say we're within walking distance of the Latin Quarter. So we can go up around there and go to my favorite haunts in that neighborhood. So I'm really happy. I wonder what that building is over there. It looks like a mall or something. That's the Montparnasse train station. Oh, there's probably shops in there. It's a very big station.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Oh, that looks great. Wow, what a great neighborhood we got. Wow, on the block around the corner from our hotel, every restaurant, or virtually every restaurant in this block, is a crepe restaurant. Everybody's eating crepe here. Pretty cool, huh? Crepes are a specialty of Brittany, which is in the northwest of France. But I guess maybe must be a place where people from Brittany settled or something.
This is considered Latin Quarter?
No. We're going there.
What area is this then?
That's Saint-Sulpice, I think, that name of that church. Look at all these beautiful Belle Epoque apartment houses. Okay, let's go see the Deux Magots, where even before the lost generation of Hemingway, etc., went there. Used to hang out there with the famous French poets, Baudelaire.
Oh, yeah? In this restaurant?
Yeah, Arthur Rimbaud. Yeah, in this cafe where they used to drink here. They used to drink a drink that became illegal because it would drive people crazy. And it was called absinthe.
Oh, yeah.
So the absinthe they make today is nothing like it was.
Yeah, well, it wasn't allowed to be sold in the United States.
Yeah, but now it is, but it's like not the same.
Mm-hmm.
So I like to come here when I'm by myself, have a cup of coffee or something.
Yeah.
But never to spend, just to do it once, just to sit in a chair and look at people go by. But it's very expensive, of course, and it's very touristic. But it's still, you're looking at the same things that those guys looked at,
Yeah.
Those famous poets. Probably. Okay. Go ahead. That's the Champs-Élysées. Very wide.
Nice. Okay, let's do some shopping.
You don't want to go up there?
We can do that after.
Okay, you guys. Santé! Santé à tout le monde! It's really, really nice. Derrière aussi, avec les arbres et tout. Magnifique. Merci, monsieur. Bonne journée. Peut-être un jour. On ne sait pas. Au revoir. Merci.
The wood ones. I like this one.
Very nice. So it really doesn't have any artistic or,
Right.
archaeological or architectural meaning other than that.
How is she posing?
Very correct. Yeah.
Help me!
Reggie, stop! That man is Carson Dial.
We all know Carson Dial is dead, Mrs. Lambert.
I tell you, he's Carson Dial.
Well, you're not going to believe him. Just bring those stamps over here. He's trying to trick you again.
Tex recognized him. That's why he wrote Dial. If you take him those stamps, he'll kill you, too.
Mrs. Lambert, If I'm who he says I am, what's preventing me from killing you right now?
Because he'd have to come out to get the stamps. And he knows he'll never make it.
Mrs. Lavert, he wants the money for himself. That's all he's ever wanted.
He's with the CIA. I saw him at the embassy.
I tell you, he's Carson Dial.
That's right, Mrs. Lavert, that's right. I'm a dead man. Look at me.
Oh, I don't know who anybody is.
Reggie, I beg you. Just trust me once more.
Why should I?
I can't think of a reason in the world why you should.
Stop right now, Mrs. Lavert, or I'll kill you.
This is Le Havre. We just got to our hotel. We have an important meeting set up for tomorrow morning. Time will tell if that meeting is fruitful or not. But the story of how we got to be here is quite an adventure. And I'm going to explain that to you along the way. And also looking back at the last, how long have we been here? Since the 22nd. Today's the 20th. For the last 6 days. And 2 countries, at least 2 countries. I'm not even sure if it's more or less. No, it's not less. It's at least 2 countries. 3 countries, I guess, if you count where we were coming from. So stay tuned. And all will be explained. But this is Le Havre, a famous port city in the north of France, and also a trade city, a city of trade and importance since the 14th, 15th century. This, it looks like some sort of a recently rebuilt factory renovation of a dock. And of course, everyone knows Normandy, the département, the land where Le Havre is situated, famous for the Mont Saint-Michel, camembert cheese, and a whole host of other wonderful things. Beaches. So we hope to, in the next few hours, show you a little bit of that. I love the dashboard. Did you check it out? Did you check it out? Look at it. It's an electric car.
I know.
Looks,
Oh, you mean the screen?
yeah.
Oh,
it's
yeah,
like
that's
in the-
nice.
And there's no, like, you know, it's just, it's like the whole thing is, can you see where the thing on the steering wheel? Oh, it's pretty.
Nice.
I dig it. There she is, folks, all in one piece. Who knew? Boy, the sweat I poured for this stupid car. I can't believe it. I really. Hey, Pookie, we got our car back, buddy. Hey guys, we're in Normandy. We finally made it. This was our ultimate goal, but with what we got. And that's the car. And first thing that happened when we got in the car was the gas gauge looked like it was speeding down towards zero. I think we came 20 kilometers. And it's read that we went from 90 miles to you need to fill up your gas tank. So I don't know what's going on with that. I did a reading and I reset my electronics. We're going to see if that has anything to do with it. And I also looked under the car and I can't tell if there's a lot of gas leaking or anything. I haven't seen anything dripping down, and it would have to be dripping down quite fast, I think, to match the way the gauge was going down. But we'll see. I took a good look. I memorized the terrain under the car, and I'm gonna check and see if it looks like there's a big puddle there when we get back to the car. Right now we're gonna not think about it. We're gonna just walk around this little beautiful little place. It's called Etretat, and there are cliffs all around here. Let me show you. Then you are gonna have a bite to eat and then head back towards Paris. Make a few stops on the way. See you later. Okay, you ready? Cheers. Salute.